Up next is Tulane and head coach Willie Fritz. Green Wave is 1-1. They were in action this past Saturday against Nichols. Tulane won the game 42-17. Up next for the Green Wave, they'll be on the road for the first time this Saturday at UAB. Game will be at 1 Eastern, noon Central, and be carried live on the Stadium Network and on Facebook. Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. If you take a minute to tie up the win against Nichols, please, and we expect to see you as you take the road the first time to face UAB.
Well, it's a big win for us. Nichols, we got a lot of respect for their squad. Coach Haribo's done a super job down there. They're just right down the road from us. They were coming off a big win against Kansas the week before, and those guys will probably make some noise at the 1AA playoffs this year. We ran the ball much more effectively than what we had in week one. Corey Dawson, I think, had 6 carries for 150 some odd yards and really showed his speed. He's a former track star, 20.7, 200 meters when he was in high school, and it was good to get him out in open spaces and see him use that speed. Darius Bradwell rushed for 93 yards. Darnell Mooney had a really big game catching it for us, going over 100 yards. And defensively, we bent, but we didn't break much. We came up with a couple key takeaways, interceptions, one by Rod Teamer and one by Chase Kirshen. And then in the kicking game, we really did a nice job with our cover units, pinned them back deep on some pooch punts, and also had some good kickoff coverage. So we made some good improvement from week one to week two. UAB is another bowl team that we'll be playing this season. Very talented, a lot of kids coming back. They really jumped on Coastal Carolina at the beginning of the ball game, and it just didn't have the breaks that they needed to have in order to win that ball game. But it'll be good to get on the road and test ourselves against a quality opponent in UAB, and see how our kids respond to a road trip, a short road trip at that.
We'll take questions for Coach Fritz, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad will put you in the queue. The operator will introduce you. Take our first question from Dan Tortora from WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Good, Dan. How are you?
Doing well. Just what you could say about the bounce back of your team. I know that you had a close game in that first week, and just what you could say about the reaction of the team and how the locker room practice, maybe some of the things that you saw that shifted this team from that close potential win to getting the victory this past week.
Well, the kids were down, obviously. We had a little talking. We got 11 more games to go. I really believe that, when you don't, whether you win or lose, you got to put it behind you. Like sometimes teams revel in a good win, and they don't prepare like they need to for the upcoming opponent. And the same thing happens, obviously, when you lose a game. You come off a tight loss like we had against Wake Forest in week one. But, I think our guys responded and bounced back. We still made too many mistakes, unforced errors. We had 9 penalties, and, we had a couple face masks against us. We had late hit. Just some things that aren't characteristic of our squad. So we need to shore that up and we talk about the wave not beating the wave, making sure that we do, play as clean as we possibly can, particularly pre-snap and post-play penalties. So there's still a lot to improve on, but it sure is a lot better to learn from a W than an L.
Absolutely. And to look at kind of the leadership, like you said, some of the guys were down coming out of that first game, and you said, you got to put it behind you, win or lose. Who are some of those leaders in the locker room that maybe are an extension of you that you've been able to kind of entrust with the team moving forward and not looking backward?
Yeah, a few of the guys, defensively, Rod Teamer is really playing well, and he's got that attitude and, that dog in him every week to just go out and compete. Zach Harris, same way. He's really played well. It's great to see your seniors develop over the time that you're here and see them get better and better and, show the competitiveness that you want to have out of them. Darnell Mooney, like I talked about, he had a great game, but, he's one of those guys who plays up to his ability every single week. He's as good as he is every single week. You don't have him one week where he's playing great, the next week he's playing poor, and does that every single down. And then Terran Alcalai, I think, he's shown a lot of leadership as well, another one of our wide receivers. So there's been a bunch of guys that have been stepping up.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Moving on, we'll take the next question from Joseph Holm from Times-Picayune.
Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. I wanted to talk a little bit about, after looking at the tape, did you see any third receiver sort of pop up? I know that Uncle and Mooney had both had big games, but Cluis had a really big 25-yard catch in the game for y'all. Do you see someone else sort of stepping up and taking some more snaps at that third receiver spot?
Yeah, Jabril played a much better game. Jontavius Tolles, he played a much better game, made a big catch, and turned it into a first down. Those guys are doing a good job of blocking on the perimeter as well, and we need to get a third guy to step up and make plays for us, whether it's a tight end or whether it's one of the wide receivers. We need to have 3, 4, 5 guys that people have to cover and be able to expose someone's weakness when they get a weak defender on a good receiver. So yeah, those are a couple guys that I think stepped up last week.
And then at the running back position, we talked a lot about it's sort of you've got some guys, you got a lot of guys who are going to get time. Did you feel like that sort of sorted it out a little bit with Corey and Darius sort of having the big games as they did?
Yeah, it really did. I think those two showed a lot. And then I thought Amari Jones came in at the end of the game and played well. Got some touches, and he's going to be playing more. And then, Stephon Hutterson, the great thing about him is he just does everything good. He doesn't bust very often. He's really good in protection, catches the ball out of the backfield, and does a good job running the inside and outside zone. So, we're really happy with our back position. We got some creases and holes this last week. Those guys were able to make some things happen, and we think that's a deep position for us.
And then just defensively, talk about just the takeaway so far this season. I know that's a big emphasis for y'all, and it seems like through 2 games, y'all have been able to do that effectively.
Yeah, we need to do that. It's everybody's running wide open offenses and able to move the ball, and we've done a good job when the ball's gotten into the red zone, and that's been good. But takeaways is the key. If you can, we had a lot of opportunities to sack the quarterback this last week, and that guy did a really good job of avoiding pressure and escaping and getting out of the pocket. We got to do a better job of keeping the quarterbacks in the pocket and making them throw under duress, and then also that leads to takeaways. One of the interceptions we had was due to pressure. They're late in the ball game and kind of threw off his back foot and didn't put much on the ball, and we were able to pick it. But yeah, it sure does make things easier when you're plus in the turnover takeaway department.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for your time this afternoon. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.